If you invested $10,000 today into VOOG, VOO, or QQQ, which one would actually make you a millionaire first? Most people think they are buying the same thing. They think, oh, it's just the S&P 500 or it's just big tech. But that mistake could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost returns over the next decade. We are talking about a decision that could mean the difference between retiring at 55 on a beach or working until you're 70 just to keep the lights on. There is a massive, fundamental difference in how these funds react to interest rates, AI bubbles, antitrust regulations, and global recessions. By the end of this video, I am not just going to tell you which one is best. I am going to break down the DNA of these three ETFs, tear apart their strategies, and run the numbers on scenarios that nobody else is talking about. You will know exactly which one belongs in your portfolio based on your specific financial goals. I'm Tony, and welcome to Grow with Tony, where we make your money work harder than you do. Just a quick heads up before we dive in, I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before investing. Alright, let's get into the deep dive. We have three contenders entering the ring today: VOO, VOOG, and QQQ. To understand where we are going, we first have to understand what we are actually buying. Let's start with the heavyweight champion, VOO. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. When you buy a share of VOO, you're buying a slice of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. But it's not just any 500 companies. To get into the S&P 500, a company has to be profitable. It has to have positive earnings. This is a quality filter. You aren't buying speculative garbage. You're buying the backbone of the American economy. It is a blend fund. That means it holds everything. It holds the high-flying tech stocks like Apple and Nvidia, but it also holds the boring stuff: ExxonMobil, JP Morgan Chase, Johnson & Johnson. It is designed to represent the entire market. If the US economy grows, VOO grows. It is the default setting for wealth in America. Next up, we have VOOG. The G stands for growth. This is the Vanguard S&P 500 Growth ETF. Here's how it works. Standard & Poor's takes that list of 500 companies and splits them. They look for specific factors: sales growth, the ratio of earnings change to price, and momentum. They take the roughly 139 companies that are growing the fastest and bundle them into VOOG. They kick out the slow-moving value companies. So no AT&T, no Verizon, no slow growth utilities. This is the S&P 500 on caffeine. It is designed to outperform the market when the economy is booming. And finally, the rebel QQQ. This is the Invesco QQQ Trust. It tracks the Nasdaq 100 index. Now pay close attention, because this is where people get confused. The Nasdaq 100 is not just tech. It is the 100 largest non-financial companies listed on the Nasdaq exchange. The key phrase there is non-financial. You will never find a bank in QQQ. No JP Morgan, no Bank of America, no Wells Fargo. Because banks are excluded and because tech companies naturally flock to the Nasdaq exchange, this ETF has become a proxy for pure innovation. It is heavily concentrated in technology, communication services, and consumer discretionary. So let's look under the hood at the sector breakdown. This is where your risk lives. If you put your money into QQQ, you need to understand that nearly 60% of your portfolio is in the technology sector. That is a massive bet. You are essentially saying, I believe tech will outperform everything else forever. If tech crashes, your entire portfolio crashes. There is no hedge. VOO, on the other hand, is balanced. Tech is still the biggest slice, around 33–35%, but you have a safety net. You have 13% in financials, 9–10% in healthcare, 8% in industrials. If the tech bubble bursts, your healthcare stocks and bank stocks might hold their value or even go up, cushioning the blow. VOOG sits in the middle. It has more tech than VOO because tech companies are usually growth companies, but it still has less tech concentration than QQQ. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the Magnificent Seven. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and Tesla. All three of these ETFs love these stocks, but the difference is the weighting. In QQQ, these top companies make up a terrifyingly large percentage of the fund. At times, the top 10 holdings in QQQ can account for nearly 50% of the entire fund's value. Think about that. You think you are diversified because you own 100 stocks, but really half your money is riding on just 10 CEOs. That is called concentration risk. If Nvidia has a bad year or if the government sues Google, QQQ takes a direct hit to the face. VOO is much more diluted. The top 10 companies might make up 30–35% of the fund. It's still concentrated, but significantly less than QQQ. You have the other 490 companies acting as ballast to keep the ship steady. Now let's move to the historical performance battle. If we look at the last 15 years from 2009 to 2024, QQQ has absolutely destroyed the competition. It's not even close. We are talking about a total return of over 1,000% versus maybe 500% for the S&P 500. Why? Because we lived through a perfect storm for tech. We had the smartphone revolution, the cloud computing revolution, the rise of social media, and now the AI revolution. And crucially, we had 0% interest rates. VOOG generally comes in second place. It captured that growth but was dragged down slightly by the other sectors. VOO comes in third. And this is a huge but historical returns do not guarantee future results. You have to ask yourself, will the next 10 years look like the last 10 years? In the year 2000, during the dot-com bubble crash, QQQ lost 80% of its value. 80%. It took 15 years until 2015 for QQQ investors to just break even. Imagine investing your life savings at age 40 and not seeing a profit until you were 55. That is the danger of QQQ. During that same lost decade for tech, value stocks and the broader S&P 500 actually did okay. They recovered much faster. So while QQQ wins on the growth chart, VOO wins on the survival chart. This brings us to a critical concept: interest rate sensitivity. This is the boring economic stuff that actually determines whether you get rich or not. Growth stocks VOOG and QQQ are long-duration assets. That means their value is based on profits they expect to make 10 or 20 years in the future. When interest rates are low, like 0%, future money is worth almost the same as current money. Investors are willing to pay a premium for that future growth. This is rocket fuel for QQQ. But when interest rates rise like they did in 2022, future money becomes less valuable. Investors suddenly say, why should I bet on a tech company making money in 2030 when I can get a guaranteed 5% return from a treasury bond right now? This is why in 2022, when the Fed raised rates, QQQ dropped 33%. VOO only dropped 19%. If you believe we are entering an era of higher interest rates for longer, QQQ is going to face a massive headwind. VOO, which holds banks who actually profit from higher rates and energy companies, is naturally hedged against inflation and high rates. Let's talk fees expense ratios. You might think 0.18% doesn't matter, but let's do the math. VOO charges 0.03%. That is $3 per year for every $10,000 invested. It is practically free. VOOG charges 0.07%. That's $7 per year. QQQ charges 0.18%. That's $18 per year. Over 1 year, nobody cares. But compound this over 30 years on $1 million portfolio. The difference between 0.03% and 0.18% can add up to tens of thousands of dollars in lost compounding. QQQ is the most expensive to own. You are paying a premium for that brand name and that liquidity. Is it worth it? Only if the performance gap remains massive. If QQQ only beats VOO by a tiny margin, the fees might actually eat up your advantage. And what about dividends? VOO pays a decent dividend, usually around 1.1% to 1.4%. VOOG pays less, around 0.5%. QQQ pays almost nothing, often around 0.5% or 0.6%. Why? Because tech companies rarely pay dividends. They take their extra cash and reinvest it into R&D to build the next iPhone or AI chip. If you are in your retirement phase and you need cash flow to live on, VOO is vastly superior. You can spend the dividends without selling the shares. With QQQ, to get cash, you have to sell the shares. And if the market is down 30% when you need to pay rent, selling those shares locks in your losses permanently. Now let's play out the scenario analysis for 2026 through 2030. This is the part that will help you decide. Scenario A, the AI supercycle. Artificial intelligence actually delivers on the hype. Productivity skyrockets. Every company becomes a software company. The Mag 7 continue to eat the world. Winner QQQ. Why? QQQ is pure concentrated exposure to the hardware NVIDIA, AMD, and the software Microsoft, Google that powers AI. VOOG comes in second. VOO trails behind because it is weighed down by old economy stocks. Scenario B, the growth rotation, the soft landing. The economy stabilizes, inflation comes down but rates stay moderate. The massive gap between big tech and the average stock starts to close. investors start buying healthcare and industrials because they are cheap compared to expensive tech stocks. Winner VOOG or VOO. Why? If the rally broadens out to the other 493 companies in the S&P, VOO captures that. VOOG captures the faster-growing non-tech companies. QQQ lags because it misses the recovery in financials and industrials. Scenario C, the techlash, regulation and recession. Governments around the world crack down on big tech. Antitrust lawsuits break up Google or Amazon. At the same time, we hit a recession. Winner VOO by losing the least. Why? When things get ugly, people buy toothpaste, toilet paper, and pay their electric bills. VOO owns Procter & Gamble, Walmart, and utility companies. These are defensive stocks. QQQ owns almost none of these. In a deep recession or regulatory crackdown, QQQ could see a drawdown of 40–50%. VOO might only drop 20–25%. So what about the psychology? This is the most important factor. Can you handle the volatility? It is easy to look at a chart of QQQ and say, I want that return. But can you sit there and watch your $100,000 account turn into $65,000 in 6 months? Because that is what happens with QQQ. Most people panic sell at the bottom. If you sell QQQ at the bottom, you destroy your wealth. VOO is smoother. It's a luxury ride. You still feel the bumps, but you don't feel like the wheels are coming off. If you are the type of person who checks your portfolio app every single day and gets anxious when you see red, QQQ is not for you. Stick to VOO. So let's build the ultimate portfolio. Who should buy what? The Safe Foundation Strategy, the VOO investor. If you have a lower risk tolerance or you are closer to retirement, say within 10 years, VOO is your best friend. It gives you growth, dividends, and sector diversification. It is the set it and forget it king. You will never underperform the market because you are the market. The Aggressive Accumulator Strategy, the QQQ investor. If you are young, 20s or 30s, have a stable income, and this is key, you have a 20-year time horizon, QQQ is a powerful tool. You can afford to wait out the 30% drops. You are betting on human innovation. You believe that 20 years from now, technology will be a bigger part of our lives than it is today. If that statement is true, QQQ should outperform. The Smart Compromise, the core and satellite. This is my favorite approach for most people. You don't have to choose just one. Make VOO your core, put 70% or 80% of your money into VOO. This ensures you survive any economic weather. Then take the remaining 20% or 30% and put it into QQQ or VOOG. This is your satellite. This strategy gives you the stability of the broad market but adds a little bit of juice to your returns from the tech exposure. If tech crashes, your 80% in VOO keeps you safe. If tech booms, your 20% in QQQ pulls your average return up. It is the best of both worlds. Let's touch on one final specific comparison, VOOG versus QQQ. Why would anyone buy VOOG over QQQ? VOOG is for the person who wants growth but is scared of the no financials rule of the Nasdaq. VOOG gives you growth companies from every sector, not just tech. It is a more diversified version of growth. If you think the next big growth wave might come from healthcare or high-speed banking instead of just software, VOOG is the safer bet than QQQ. Final verdict. There is no such thing as a free lunch. To get the higher returns of QQQ, you must pay the price of higher volatility and higher concentration risk. To get the safety of VOO, you must pay the price of potentially lower returns during a tech boom. Do not chase past performance. Just because QQQ won the last decade does not mean it will win the next. Look at your own life. How much pain can you handle? When do you need the money? Do you believe big tech is invincible, or do you think it's a bubble waiting to burst? Answer those 3 questions and the choice between VOO, VOOG, and QQQ becomes obvious. I want to hear from you. If you had to pick only one of these to hold for the next 10 years and you couldn't touch it, couldn't sell it, which one are you grabbing? VOO, VOOG, or QQQ? Drop your choice in the comments below. I read every single one and I want to see which team has the most votes. If you found value in this deep dive, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. And hey, let me know in the comments, what topic do you want me to break down next? Stocks versus real estate, dividend ETFs, let me know and I might just make a video about it. But if not, no worries, I appreciate you watching regardless. Thanks for watching Grow with Tony, stay disciplined, and I'll see you in the next one.